Hello, folks. Welcome back to the program. This is Chris in central Pennsylvania in the midst of a massive winter snowstorm. Lots of accumulation outside. So inside we are, reporting on events in South Africa yet again. What in the world is going on with South Africa's military? Are they a rogue element of society? Are they a convenient scapegoat for the failures of South Africa's foreign policy under the African National Congress? What exactly is going on? Many stories about the media this week, in particular today. City Press's David Bunzire and Erica Gibson report that military chiefs blatantly defied Ramaphosa's order to exclude Iran from naval exercises since November. Now, apparently, the Department of Defense and the Navy were given clear instructions in November, again in December, and once more in January that Iran must not participate in Operation Will for Peace, renamed from MOSI 3. Defense Minister Angie Motshekga promised a 7-day board of inquiry into this situation, but as of today, it has yet to be formed. She announced the board 9 days ago, and of course 7-day board of inquiry is a joke. Who could possibly unravel this mess in 7 days? It's just another cover-up. Now, the instructions were that Iran was not to participate or even to be an observer in Will for Peace. City Press sources indicate that Chief of Defense Forces General Ruzani Mapanya and Navy Chief Vice Admiral Monde Lobesi openly defied these orders. Now, isn't General Ruzani Mapanya the gentleman who went to Iran and pledged solidarity and loyalty to the Iranian terror state's military last year, yet remain in office? Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps participation in this event happened while the Iranian regime slaughtered thousands of peaceful protesters. Never mind the fact that the IRCG is actually a designated terrorist group. Now, folks, this begs several questions. Is all of this true? Did the ANC really ask China to uninvite Iran? Why couldn't the ANC simply do that? It's being held in their territory. And did the SANDF defy Ramaphosa? Or are they just a convenient scapegoat? Now, what exactly is Angie Motshekga's role? Is she simply collecting a paycheck, like most of Ramaphosa's wildly incompetent cabinet? And ultimately, who's in charge here? I mean, is the military in charge of South Africa? Is the civilian government in charge of the military? It doesn't appear to be so. So that raises yet another question. Is the South African National Defense Force a threat to civilian rule, or simply a convenient scapegoat for ANC missteps? We don't know. Things are unclear. But what is clear is this is a military that is out of control. It's a force and a minister who send troops. Well, she didn't send them, to be fair. They were sent before she became minister. But send troops to DRC without tents, without boots, without uniforms, without body armor, without proper training, with no medevac, only to be embarrassed by a group of rebels, M23, and flee the DRC. It's a military that will send 7,000 soldiers and spend 372 million rand for a military parade in Limpopo on February 21st. Why? This is a force that is not operational. It only has 3 of its 40-plus helicopters that are currently able to fly. 1 of its 3 frigates is operational. 1 of its 18 or so Gripens that haven't been cannibalized for parts are operational. And none of its Type 209 submarines are currently operational. As I said, it sent troops to the DRC with no body armor, no boots, no tents, no medevac. The force has dilapidated barracks, buildings, and training facilities falling apart all over the country. It hasn't got a new prime mover for its ground forces since apartheid. But it will spend 372 million rand for a party in the home of outgoing Defense Chief General Ruzani Mapanya. There's that name again. Folks, this is not a defense force. It's a vanity project for vain people. Now, this event is being advertised to commemorate the location Toyoyandu as head of the elephant. Now, that town was the capital of the Venda Bantustan under apartheid. So they're celebrating the apartheid era? Seriously? Head of the elephant? It's not even a border town. And it gets worse. It's not simply defying the government and allowing the Iranians to participate in a naval exercise while they're slaughtering thousands of people at home and creating tension with the United States foolishly. It's not just that. Folks, it goes far beyond that. And it's not simply wasting 372 million on a birthday celebration when you don't have money to equip your troops. Another report today. Murder-accused officer promoted to head of South African Special Forces. That's a real headline in South Africa. Brigadier General Sole Lechoenyo is charged with the murder of Hawks investigator Lieutenant Colonel Franz Matipa back in August 2023. He's been promoted to Commanding General of South Africa Special Forces. What? His 6 co-accused are headed to jail after their bail was revoked, but he's going to get promoted. Now, the murder of Matipa was apparently to stop an investigation of Special Forces troops' apparent kidnapping of Abdullah Hussein Abadiga and his bodyguard Kadir Jamel Abtose at the Mall of America in Midrand back in late December of 2022. And Hawks was investigating it. So Lieutenant Colonel Matipa was invited to meet with a source, and he was ambushed and assassinated on his way to Hammanskraal. Lechoenyo's boss when the kidnappings and murder occurred was Major General Herbert Mashego, who's also charged with the murder and kidnappings. Now, folks, normally accused or charged military officers are not promoted. They're placed on special leave pending the outcome. So what's going on here? The Navy chief and the Chief of Defense Forces defy the government? Is that true? All indications seem to be that is the case. Yet they remain in office. Not only do they remain in office, they haven't even been sidelined. What is going on in the South African National Defense Force? Is it under control of civilian leadership? It doesn't appear to be. And how are these troops sent to places with not even the most basic of things that soldiers need to survive? And then you promote people charged. Look, he's not suspected. He's not accused. He's been charged with a murder. This is serious. If he's innocent, fine. We'll find this out later on, and then he can be promoted. But he's charged with murder in a conspiracy. It couldn't possibly get worse than this. How can any troops possibly follow the leadership of someone accused of murder? Of a police officer? This isn't a country. This is a gangster operation. This is insane. How are the people of South Africa, black, white, and brown, supposed to be safe when these activities occur? And where's the outrage from the government? Where is the removal of these officials, or at least the suspension of them pending an outcome? There isn't anything. South Africa is out of control. What say you, South Africa? Mzansi. Cheers.